Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is a matching cowl and hat set using homespun yarn, and I promise it's going to be easy. The hat is probably going to be just a touch more complicated than the cowl, but after I made my homespun shawl, I had one of my subscribers ask if I would make a cowl. And I had plenty of yarn left, so I thought, yes, I will. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a matching hat with it because I've got enough yarn to use up. So to get started, I want to first talk to you about the pattern. So the pattern consists of V stitches. That's upside down, which consists of V stitches. See the V's? Here, here. And what that is a double, chain one, double. So throughout the tutorial, I may say V-stitch here, V-stitch here, and what I mean is the double, chain one, double, okay? So for the purpose of this tutorial and my pattern here, the V-stitch is a double, chain one, double, okay? So I am using the same yarn that I used for my homespun shawl. Let me write this down. So if you want to... I can't write and talk at the same time. Link pattern. If you want to make the matching shawl for this set, I will link the video in the description box. Link pattern for shawl. Okay. Let's see what else. The hardest part of this whole tutorial, I'm gonna say, is working into your double crochets with your homespun. After that, it's super easy. So what you're gonna need is one skein of any homespun you want, and this is probably my favorite color. This is Wildfire, but if you don't want to use homespun, you can get any 5-weight bulky. I would probably say get a thinner size 5. Yeah, I'd go for a smaller size 5, okay? So, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but if just looking at this, I think a lot of the determining factor for this to be a size 5 weight yarn is going to be that the homespun has a tad bit of a halo, not that much, but it does have a tad bit of a halo. So I would definitely go for a smaller size 5. But this is 98% acrylic, 2% other fiber. It's a 5-weight, machine washable and dryable, made in Turkey, and like I said, this is the color Wildfire. So get you one skein of whatever yarn you want to use, a needle to weave in your ends, scissors, and we are using a 8mm crochet hook today, okay? Let me think. I feel like there's something else that I need to talk to you guys about. I don't think so. If there is, just shoot me an email. My email is in the description box, and I'll get to you guys as quick as I can. But also, having said that, if at any point you need any help, email me and let me know, and I will help you guys out as much as I can, okay? May not be right that second, but I will get to it as fast as I can, okay? All right, so that is it. Get your supplies together, and let's get started. Alright, so to get started, let's start with the cowl first. Okay, so we are going to get a slip knot on our hook and make sure you have enough tail to weave in. And we're going to chain 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so now we're going to double crochet into the 4th chain from our hook. So, and everybody knows working with homespun, it's not the easiest thing, but if you give your chain a tug, you can see the holes that's created from our chain, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, and right here is the 4th. If you're not exactly into the 4th, it's not a big deal. And I will show you in just a minute. All right, so we have the chain 3 right here and our double crochet. Now we're going to skip 2 chains and you can see, kind of look for that top loop. Skip 2, and we're going to V-stitch into that next chain, and the V-stitch is a double, chain 1, go right back in there with a double. And now we're going to skip 2 more chains, 1 and 2, into the next. We're going to V-stitch again. And like I said, if you guys are not exactly right, nobody's going to notice. It's not a huge deal. And this is probably the hardest part, is working into these chains. But our main goal is that we need 4 V-stitches. So here's 1 and here's 2. And we're going to skip 2 more and work another V-stitch. And I have no idea if I skip 2 chains or not. I'm just going to work a V-stitch just to show you guys how much it doesn't matter. All right, I've got 3 V-stitches. I need 1 more. Not even going to look, but I am going to say we need 2 chains at the end. We need 2 places to work a double, so I'm just going to go into that next spot. Did I skip 2? I haven't the slightest clue. I didn't look. No big deal. Doesn't matter. As long as we have 4 V-stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And now into the second to last chain, we're going to work a double. Oops, get off there. Double. And then into the last chain, a double. And if you're not sure if you're even into the last chain or not, just get 2 double crochets in there. Okay? So this is what we should be looking like. The beginning chain 3 is going to be a double. And then a double, 4 V-stitches, and 2 double. Okay? Alright, so now we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to work our repeat row, and we repeat this row over and over and over again, okay? So pull your stitches apart and see the 2 holes, 1 and 2. That's the top of your 2 double crochets, and that's where we're going to work 1 double into the first double and double into the next double. So pull it apart, and you can see the hole it creates when you pull the top open, and that's where our double is going to go. Now we V-stitch into the chain 1 space of each of the V-stitches. So double, chain 1, and double. You're just going right into that V-stitch. Jump to the next, double, chain 1, double, jump to the next, double, chain 1, double, and into that last, double, chain 1, double. Okay, so now we find that last double, pull it up, give it just a little bit of a tug, and you can see the top open right there. That's where our double goes. And then into this chain right here, I'm just going to go where I can get my hook. Just like that. So now we have a double into the first double, double into the second, V-stitch, 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 double into the second to last double, and a double into that chain 3. And that is all we're going to repeat. Chain 1 and turn, work a double into the first 2 double, just give them a tug so you can see the opening. And now V-stitch into each chain 1 space of the previous row's V-stitch. To the next V-stitch. Into the last V-stitch. Alright, here's the last 2 doubles. Pull it apart a little bit, and make sure you're not looking at that double crochet of that last V-stitch. That's not what we want. We want these last 2 doubles. And if you pull it apart, you can see right there is the hole for the top of that double. And this last double is a little bit of a tricky one just because it's the one where it's bent. So if you just give it a little bit of a tug and pull it apart, you can see right there was the top. Okay, so that's all you're going to repeat. Row 2, double into the first double, double into the second double, V-stitch into each chain 1 space of the previous row's double or V-stitch, double into the second to last double, double into the last double, chain 1, turn, and repeat. And you're going to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until your piece measures about 23 inches is what we're looking for, is a good 23 inches. So I am going to repeat my row 2 over and over and over again until I get to 23 inches, and I will be right back. Alrighty, so I repeated that until I got to 23 inches right there. Okay, so actually I have one more double crochet I need to work into. I'm trying to keep church from getting over here. I go into that last double, and of course, church. All right, so what we're gonna do now is gonna chain 1. I'm gonna bring you guys in, and we're gonna bring the 2 ends together, and we're gonna evenly space out single crochets across the 2 ends. And I'm not doing anything fancy or going into certain spaces. I'm just going right across. My chair won't go right. Just evenly single crocheting across. Right here is the edge. I actually went ahead and weaved in that end before I got started. So I am going to single as far over into that edge as you can. And chain 1, pull up a loop, cut. And there we go. So weave in that end real quick. I'm just going to take it right through the legs of those single crochets we just worked. And there we go. Turn it inside or right side out, and there is your cowl. Easy peasy. All right, now we're going to get started on the hat. Okay, to get started with our hat, we are going to get a slip knot on our hook, and we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Come down to that first chain, and we're just going to slip stitch right into that. Okay, here's our little ring, and I'm going to take my tail and I'm going to pull that tail tight so it closes up that chain we slip stitched into. All right, and there is the ring we're going to work into. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work 12 double crochet into the ring, and make sure you work over your tail, okay? So here is the first double, and I'm going to stop and mark that with a stitch marker. Just to, you don't have to, it's just to help me know where I am. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the last one 12. All right, now just pull that tail, just close up that ring, and we'll weave in that tail in a little bit. Okay, so we are going to slip stitch to the first double crochet, chain 1, and we are going to work 2 double crochet into each double all the way around. So right into that same double crochet we just slip stitched into, we're going to work 2 doubles, 1 and 2. So I'm going to stop and mark that first one, and now just work 2 double into each double all the way around. So we should have 24 double crochet at the end of round 2. Just about there. And this is actually the last round where we won't be working V-stitches. So this is probably the hardest round, and we're almost done. And right there is the last one. And if you're a little lost on what you have, just stop and count. Feel your posts of your doubles. So right there is 1, 2, 3. My thumb is on 3. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, look right there. I only worked 1 instead of 2. Now I need to make sure I have 2 in each. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And into that last double right there is 23 and 24. Oops. All right, so now I am going to get out of there, slip stitch to that first double, chain 1, and we're going to V-stitch into that same double we just slip stitched into. Okay, so I'm going to work 1 double, oops, chain 1, and go right back in there with another double. And I'm going to skip the next double crochet, pull it apart, and look for your, I wonder if you can see these holes better if I put a piece of blank paper behind me. Okay, so if I pull this apart, see the hole right there? Right there? That's the top of that double, so I'm skipping this one and going into the next one. See the hole right there? And I'm going to work a V-stitch. Skip the next double, V-stitch into the next double. And that is what we're going to repeat all the way around, okay? So by the end of round 3, I'll come back and I'll let you guys know how many V-stitches. With just off the top of my head, I think it's supposed to be 12. All right, so I will be right back. Okay, so I'm making it back around, and this is my 11th V-stitch, and I have 3 doubles left, so I'm skipping the next, V-stitching into the next for my 12th V-stitch. Just like that. All right, so that was the end of round 3. So round 4, we are going to slip stitch into the top of that first double, if you can see it. If you can't, just slip stitch where you can, and then I want you to slip stitch into the chain 1 space of the first V-stitch. So as long as you end up in that chain space of the first V-stitch, you're good. All right, so now we're going to move on to round 4. We are going to chain 1 and V-stitch right back into the chain 1 space that we're in. So that's a double, chain 1, double. And now we are going to, oh, I was reading the wrong row of my pattern. We are going to V-stitch into the next chain space. And now we're going to V-stitch in between our V-stitches. So we're not going into a chain space, we're just going right in between these two V's. So right in the space between. Okay, and now we're going to V-stitch into the next chain space. V-stitch into the next chain space. Oops. V-stitch into the next chain space. And now we're going to V-stitch into the space between the V-stitches. Not into a chain 1, just into the space in between. So what we're going to do is work 3 V-stitches into the chain 1 space, and then the next one goes in between. 1 into the next 1 V-stitch into the next 3 V-stitches, 1 in between. But I'm going to stick with you guys because I don't want you guys to get confused with this. Okay, so we just did our in between. So now we work 1 V-stitch into the next chain 3. Into the next 3 chain 1 spaces. So that's 1, and here is 2, and into the next chain 1 is our 3rd V-stitch, and now we go in between the V-stitches. All right, now we V-stitch into the next 3 chain 1 space of the V-stitch. 1, here's the 2nd, and there's the 3rd. And now we're going to go in between. And now we're going to V-stitch into that last V. Double, chain 1, and double. And now we should have 16 V-stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and the last one is 16. Good deal. Okay, so now we are going to slip stitch into the first double, and like I said earlier, if you can't see it, it's not a big deal. Just as long as you get a slip stitch in there, and then we're going to slip stitch right into the first chain space of that V-stitch, okay? Chain 1. And now we are going to repeat round 4 again. So we are going to V-stitch back into that V-stitch, chain 1, and double. All right, now we're going to V-stitch into the next V-stitch. And now we're going to work in the space between the V-stitches. Okay, now we're going to V-stitch into the next V-stitch. V-stitch into the next V-stitch. V-stitch into that next V-stitch. So here's the one between. 1, 2, 3. Now we work the one between. V-stitch between. All right. So now we work a V-stitch into the next 3 V-stitches. 1, 2, 3. Work one in between. V-stitch into the next 3 V-stitches. 1, 2, that was 2, so here's 3. Work one in between. Coming to the end of my skein. Okay. We worked our one in between, so now we V-stitch into the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now we V-stitch in between. V-stitch into the last 2 V-stitches. 1, and there's the last one. 4, 2. All right, so now if we did this right, fingers crossed, we should have 21 V-stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yay! Okay, so here's the easy part. We are going to double crochet to that first slip stitch to that first double. Sorry guys. Slip stitch to that chain 1 space, chain 1, V-stitch into the first V-stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double. And now all you're going to do is V-stitch into each chain 1 all the way around. So we're going to keep at that 21 V-stitches, okay? So you're going to, trying to untangle my yarn here. You're going to V-stitch into each V-stitch for round 6, and I will meet you when we make it back to where we started, okay? So I am going to go ahead and work all the way around. All I'm doing is V-stitch into each V-stitch. Double, chain 1, double, jump to the next, double, chain 1, double, jump to the next, double, chain 1, double. Okay, repeat that all the way around and I'll meet you back where we started, okay? I will be right back. Okay, so I worked that around, V-stitch into each V-stitch. So now I'm going to slip stitch to that first double and then slip stitch to the chain 1, and repeat row 6. V-stitch into each V-stitch, work that all the way around. Slip stitch to the first double, slip stitch to that first chain 1, and work it again. So you're going to work that V-stitch all the way around. You're going to work it for rows 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So you're going to work it for 5 more rounds, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and let you get that done. You can pause your video or come back, whatever. I have already got my piece done. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the last one is round 11. So at the end of round 11, all you do is slip stitch to that first double crochet and chain 1. And we're going to work 1 half double crochet into each double and chain 1 all the way around. So into that first double crochet, we work a half double into your chain 1 space, half double into the next double, half double into that next double, half double into the chain 1 space, half double into the next double. And that is all you're going to repeat all the way around for round 12. Half double into the double, half double into the double, half double into the chain 1, half double into the double, half double into the next double, and half double into the chain 1. So repeat that all the way around for round 12, and I will be right back. Okay, so once you work that all the way around, well, I have one more double I need to half double into. I'm going to slip stitch to my first half double, chain 1, pull up a loop, cut your yarn, and weave in your ends. And there's your hat. A hat and a cowl to match your shawl. Just weaving in these ends. The shawl link, the homespun shawl, I'll leave in the description box. I think I named it Alicia's shawl. It's after my twin sister. I can't remember if that's what I named it or not. And don't forget your middle tail. Weave that in too. And there you go. There is your your cowl and hat. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I kind of feel like I went through it a little fast, so if you need any help, feel free to email me and I will help you as soon, or I will get back with you as soon as I can, and I'll help you through this. But until then, that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss what's coming next. What else? Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. I love the color of this yarn. Like I said, it is wildfire. I just think this is so pretty. Anyway, all right. That's it from me, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.